All right, so part 6. We are going to just kind of dive straight in. I've got a little bit better of a layout here. As you can see, things are a little bit set up better. And if you could give me a like and sub, that'd be awesome. Fancy, huh? Anyway, I'm just going to kind of start playing with volumes and then we'll move on. On the master bus, this is what I put on my master for virtual mix rack. I have a trimmer at the beginning and it'll show you the volume. Then as it runs through my EQ, I will attenuate the volume so I make sure that any of my EQ moves are not adding just plain volume. As volume just makes things louder, doesn't make things sound better. So I'm just gonna let this play. All right, that's starting to come along. It's starting to be good, and I haven't made any changes. This EQ is just on here. I use VMR for my tone shaping. So first on my master bus is always basically an EQ to see, what frequencies are doing and see where the holes are, see where things are piled up on the frequency spectrum. I think this little setup works a little bit better. There we go. This is on our master. And we'll put that first in the chain. It's a pretty good flat wave. There's a little bit of a hole right here you can see. which is exactly what this EQ is for. See, on that hole right there, another thing you can do is go back to the mix, and since you know where that hole is, maybe add a little bit of that frequency to the guitar track. At a very narrow Q. Yeah, see how we leveled this out real nicely right there. And being that a lot of this style of music doesn't really have a lot of highs, I am going to put a high shelf in here. Kind of always do on this part of my master. You just don't want a dark mix. A dark mix is a boring mix. You can see when I toggle this on and off how much just these two EQ moves make on the master. Our low end's looking a little weak, so I'm gonna boost this bass a little. Yeah. And next would be compressor. For me anyway. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial, this is more of just how I do shit. And I'm completely self-taught, just retired from the music business, from the stage anyway, and decided to learn how stuff was done here. And it's been very, very awesome. If you don't know who CLA is, I kind of feel bad for you. You obviously don't want to produce music. But I got a compressor here with about a medium attack. Auto release. This is like an SSL compressor. This gives it that glue. You don't want it to add a lot of volume. That's what I'm doing here, is attenuating the volume. That way it compresses, it doesn't make things louder. I do like my compressor to add a little bit of jazz. 3 dBs of compression, pretty standard. And that will be in between those two EQs. So now we check it on the meters again. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of let it play and do my magic here. Yeah. See, and now we're starting to clip. Going for that snare like I always do. I mix like a drummer. I can't help it. One thing I like to do. Oh, that's the 10-minute mark. I think we made a lot of progress. I went through all my lead and cleaned it up. Let's let this play for a little bit. Let's hear these leads and then we'll move on to more of the master bus in the next episode. Let's move to this one. There's a lot of noise in those guitar tracks, but I'll take care of that next. If you guys are watching, love you. It's awesome.